GangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Now it'll be the non-boxing stuff to touch upon. Like I said, most of us, are, I think all of us, are comic book fans or whatever. So, and then obviously HBO Max has been like the hottest streaming services out here. And then one of the things that they're doing is like, you know what, we're going to spend $70 million and we're going to finish up the original vision of Justice League. And not the one that came out in the theaters about 4 years ago, but the one where Joss Whedon was part of that one.
Where he was just fucking shit up.
Yeah, because he wanted to make another fucking Avengers out of that shit with jokes and innuendos and shit like that. Whereas
jokes,
Zack Snyder,
dirty innuendos, and apparently nothing including people of color.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, too. But we'll definitely get more into that. And then Zack Snyder was the original architect, but unfortunately he had to step away because I think his daughter passed away.
Yeah, one of his kids passed away.
Yeah, so unfortunately, R.I.P.
I know. And what did the studios do? Like, let's get your rival to come here and fuck up your movie instead.
Yeah, Warner Brothers was big wilding with that, and this was before when the DC movies were kind of getting a lot of guff about what the fuck, what they were doing with the movies. Like they were
the executives fucked that up. That's what you call micromanaging on like the elite level. That's what micromanaging does.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you want to micromanage to such a level where it's like it's not necessary. You'd be like, but I just want to be around. I'm like, why not talk to the people who are dealing with it?
I'm saying like
that's not enough. We have to fuck it up and change it completely. If you don't remix it like that, it's like we were here for no reason.
It's like, yo, how long your toenails, nigga? It's like,
damn,
that's
it's
stupid
ridiculous.
they got.
Yeah, like there's so much shit they changed around in the movie. Like how you giving a masterpiece, but then you say, you know what? Nah, I think people deserve mid. Let me fuck with it some.
Yeah, and like I said, and this
the Justice League was like to me, it was like a 1. It was like a 7 out of 10. Like how we do 1 through 10 scores.
Right.
The original movie or the current one?
The theater.
The original. We'll drop our scores at the end. Man.
Okay.
I know you haven't been on a movie review episode in a while.
Nah.
No, I told Pat earlier. All I've seen is boxes lately, just because I've just been hauling out shit.
Damn.
It ain't breaks. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so it was just more like, it was just like, because there was always a thing, like, because the Snyder had always been talked about, even as, like, more DC movies got produced, and like I said, and if, like, a lot of the DC movies, they've been more missed than hit, so, like, especially, like, the last couple of them.
Batman versus Superman?
Yeah,
Definitely
me, LB got definitely talking about, like, Man of Steel was the first one. That shit was good.
Classic.
Man of Steel did things right, and then the TV show showed up, and I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't do the TV shows. Like
we do the movies and we do like the cartoons movies.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this right now: Superman and Lois, you better watch it. If you want the best Superman, that's where you gotta go.
Yeah, I haven't watched a Superman TV show since Dean Cain, bro.
All I'm saying is like he will probably do him good because they
dude.
made the story really good too, and they know how to hit your heartstrings. That's what they did. They knew where to target.
Nigga, I want to see violence, bro. Fuck a heartstrings, nigga. I want to see
That's
violence.
what I'm saying. Like,
There's violence in it too, but it's just not from Superman. It's from his kids.
Nigga, I don't
damn,
want
see,
that.
you brought up that part first though. Like, I don't care about all that shit. Like,
actually, no. There's other violence. I just missed it. You just gotta see it.
I want to see laser shit. I want to see some neck snapping. I want to see some powers being used. And I want to see
and that's what
Let me put it this way.
does great in the movies.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. They do that really well.
They know how to unleash the powers. Like Wonder Woman, for example. You saw how powerful she was the first time you seen her on the screen.
Yeah.
Like Thor, you didn't really get to see how great he was until damn his third movie or some shit. Like,
You didn't hear the guitar riff for Thor, that's why.
you had to put him in like it's like a dude getting on his fifth mixtape before you're like, all right, okay, he's snapping now. Like, yeah, he's spitting. Like,
and that's how the DCU that's how them DCU movies were moving. Like Batman versus Dawn of Justice was easily one of the most confusing, long ass movies I ever watched, and the extended cut wasn't that much better, although it made more sense.
and the thing is, I only saw the extended cut. I never saw the regular one, and I still only felt like the extended cut was like mid. Like Batman versus Superman, it just the ending saves that movie. Like that's one of the dopest comic book fight endings ever. Like
because they tied it to the comics, that's why.
Yeah. And then, there's Suicide Squad, which, which started off promising, but went, the ending was, I didn't like it. And then
it made no sense.
And then that was the first movie I felt like, they really fucked with this movie because it looked like there was a lot of shit that got chopped off.
Hey, Pilot, have you seen the previous movies that we're talking about?
Yeah, I've seen them. I just
how do you feel about them?
Honestly, I've been more of a Marvel head lately. I was actually I like the new Justice League though. Snyder's cut. I did really enjoy it, no doubt. Yeah.
What about have you seen the other previous movies with the DC ones? Like, did you see Suicide Squad and those other movies? How do you feel about those?
I felt Suicide Squad was kind of a letdown, like Pat was saying. I mean, it did look promising, but yeah, it is kind of all over the place.
Absolutely, yeah, it was.
I fucked with the Suicide Squad movie. It's the damn Birds of Prey that was trash.
How about the other movies that people, it varies just from people what they said about, like Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Wonder Woman. How do you feel about those three? If you saw those,
Wonder Woman was really good. I did like Wonder Woman. Man of Steel was dope. I felt like it was a little long, but it had some really bright spots on it. Definitely.
Okay, because you said you saw the Snyder Cut. So how did you feel in comparison for the two? Because we're just doing the background just to see like how the leading up to the two movies.
What do you mean, like for the 2017 Justice League or the
2017 Justice League and everything else leading up to like the Snyder Cut? Does it feel like it did things that you felt would have led into, or fixed things, anything of that sort?
I mean, for the most part, I kind of wish. I hate always comparing Marvel to DC, but I wish like I would care more because it feels like for DC, there's three people you care about, of course: Batman, Superman, the main two, and Wonder Woman because she gets a push. But I feel like I wish Cyborg had a movie. I know Ray Fisher, the actor, there's some issues there. I'm invested in Cyborg, of course, being of my skin tone somewhat. But yeah, I mean,
I don't know why you would say like in a tone. It's like you don't know who the majority of this Ring Gang is. The majority of Ring Gang is people of color, some color.
Yeah. Well, for our listeners, I don't want to discriminate, but no, Flash doesn't move me. I mean, I wish maybe I definitely wish it was a Cyborg movie and maybe they added another character, like another female character or something, maybe even like a Nightwing or something. But because the thing with Marvel, it feels like they're able to make people matter that shouldn't.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I would never in a million years would have thought Guardians of the Galaxy would actually become such a hot Marvel movie commodity. Like,
exactly.
And I read that comic.
It's funny because the comics have never been that way.
Yeah,
dude, that's the thing with Marvel. Marvel made like the weed carriers and
they made them matter.
Wow.
You actually care about them. Some of them, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, who the fuck care about fucking Ant-Man? Like, you gotta remember in the 90s.
I never cared about that. I never cared about WandaVision.
LB just says like Duffel Bag Boy just became a character in Marvel.
Dude, you had people barely caring about Iron Man in the 90s.
I'm saying, like,
exactly, and he was the face. It seemed right, you know what I'm saying?
Iron Man. Well, yeah, that's fair.
He was dope.
At Marvel, it's always been X-Men, Spider-Man.
Yes, X-Men.
Until they did the event, which was called No More Mutants, and then they were like, "Shit, what do we do?"
Yeah, or it's I mean, Marvel.
We'll give you Hulk, and we'll throw Iron Man a little love, and X-Men, Spider-Man. That's it.
They shot Hulk in the head. They were like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?"
They fucked Hulk up.
Yeah, they fucked them all the way up. You know?
For no good reason. And they made his best friend do it.
So, but
yeah,
so
y'all,
so everybody's seen like well, I know PJ, you said you ain't see Snyder cut, but pilot, you seen the whole thing?
Majority of it.
Oh, okay.
You know, Pilot, I know you said you saw the majority of it too, right?
No, I finished it.
Oh, okay, word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like pretty much, I mean, easily, like, I mean, this could be some spoilers, people. So you know, if you haven't, you know, if you haven't listened to, you're still listening, you know, sorry.
The executive spoiled it for you before.
But yeah,
It's real talk. If it's real, we talk about it.
Absolutely.
So real spoilers. So their spoilers are real. We talk about it.
Yeah. And then one thing I definitely want to touch upon what Pilot's talking about, Cyborg. Now in the theatrical version, Cyborg was like got no time. Like, I mean, first of all, like his CGI looks so terrible in the theatrical version, and and like they cut out like I think maybe about 90% of his shit that was in the Snyder cut.
Yeah, I was about to say something about that, but I was like, yo, you got it already. I was had a joke for it, but.
And then so it's just like so to see Cyborg in there, like he killed it in the Snyder cut, like everything.
He stood out there, you know.
He was the heart.
Yeah, he was the heart of this of the movie.
He was literally Mati of the Planeteers.
Yo, you stupid.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I mean, I ain't wrong, but I'm just calling it out.
Because the Cyborg has always been a dope character, and it's like always underused. Like they kind of make him like almost like that extra guy. Like he just run behind them, and he does computers. Like it's like having Geek Squad run behind the X-Men or some shit.
Yeah, I personally take some offense to it, but otherwise, yes.
No, I mean that's his. I know.
That's what I mean. That's how you point out. That's why I don't like
it. Yeah, like everything about it, like it showed the full scope of it, like his abilities, like the gift and the curse of him, like his past, like they really got his arc down. I mean, when you have a 4-hour movie, obviously you can.
And he did that to kind of like everybody too.
Well, which it could have, obviously that's why I mentioned it could have been a movie. I do like the background story for him because it kind of shed some light for the Shuttle said. LB said basically we don't the average watcher doesn't know really much about Cyborg, so it was good to actually see them span.
Because Flash has a TV show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but he had to watch it too. I'm like, watch it doesn't give a fuck about anybody. He's just like,
I don't even watch the Flash show. Like, I watched the old one back in the '90s, back in the day. As a kid,
I
you're a unique breed.
That and fucking what? Kung Fu, the legend continues. And,
yeah, that was my shit too.
all of that shit. You know what I mean, like.
We're just showing our age at this point.
Yes, but there was a lot of shit in there. Like, and then also too, like there was a little bit more Aquaman scenes, especially I think the one with Willem Dafoe's character that was actually in there. They actually
also the bit I saw, the disturbing shit with the lasers, like, yo, let's feel like your clothing. I'm like, this is weird. This is super weird. This doesn't not be in the movie. Yes, Aquaman does play a part in terms of mythology. It does not need to work this far.
Absolutely.
It's just absolutely creepy.
Yeah, and then they got and then also too like the extended combat scenes, like the one with the new gods, facing Darkseid, like that was in the first half.
That was cool.
I was
amazing.
hyped off that shit.
Because it actually gives you a backstory and see what's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to see Darkseid, and you got to see the powers, the backstory, like
exactly. You get to see
it gets you into the movie, like you care about the story,
you get to see
really
how dangerous is the threat. He's real. There is one scene that cracks me up that other people point out too. The part where what's the name of the guy? It's not Desaad. It's Steppenwolf. Where he's told 50,000 more worlds, and his eyes are like, what the fuck? The eye of somebody else who sees something that just something went south of what they believed in. It doesn't matter where you were coming from. It's just like, wait, what'd you just say?
Dude kept holding out Steppenwolf though. Like,
Hey, that scene though, I don't know I'm spoil it, but that scene with Wonder Woman, you know, that slow motion scene when she, you know, chops the head off.
Yeah,
That was beautiful. I can't even.
dope
that,
as fuck.
that was
that
dope.
was cool as shit. Yeah, I love
Definitely. Oh, that I'm glad you mentioned that point, because the other thing about this movie that I like better than the bullshit they put out, you felt more of a team effort. Like you had real chemistry and camaraderie throughout the whole movie. Like I think it did a better job of that than almost all the Avengers movies, with everybody just kind of people just throwing this guy, that guy, this guy here, and they're like, all right, make a battle. Okay, these four here, make a
Throw them
battle.
out like a Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like chess pieces or little toy army figures. They just like,
There's definitely more camaraderie. You could definitely see the camaraderie that they had. You know, obviously that's Justice League, so.
Yeah, you felt like you was watching the Justice League cartoon or some shit, and you watch 6 parts, like 6 episodes. Like honestly, they could have split the movie in 2 parts, 2 hours. After that one major action scene in the middle.
Yeah,
you know, the first time when they really fight Steppenwolf and all of them.
Yeah,
and he pissed me off though.
And the funny thing too, I know like it's from the theatrical version, like the whole opening was so fucking different. Like they changed that whole shit up too.
Yeah,
it was their way to tell you like this is not the same thing.
Off rip, you know. And then also too, like there's no of the Batman, Wonder Woman shit, like because like I said before, the Whedon version had a lot of innuendos that didn't really need to be there. You know,
It made no sense. That's why I said he was just there to fuck shit up.
Yeah, pretty much. And then also, what was another thing in there? Oh yeah, and then the R-rated language. Yes, you know, the first time I heard Cyborg say "fuck," I was like, okay, that's what I'm talking about. The adult language. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm talking about. I want to hear some adult language.
Yeah,
you know it's Snyder. For one word.
DC movies just come off so authentic with that shit. Like, it's dark. Like the movies have a dark vibe, but when it's time for some superhero shit, you feel like it's a comic book.
Word.
Like they give you like powers and this, that, explosions. Like
I will say,
I love this
the
shit.
best moments for that movie was the moments where they were talking with Alfred, because Alfred was the most human person there. So you could just see like how the characters act around him. Like, I'm Alfred, so how do they act around Alfred? Because everybody knows Alfred is very like straight to the point.
Yeah,
he's gonna force you down to earth no matter what.
Yeah,
Alfred had great interactions. I liked his dialogue parts in the movie.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
Because I remember in the theatrical version too, like, I remember the actor that played him, like, he was like, you know, because he was kind of like, he wasn't really happy with the theatrical version himself, and he was like, you know, I may not do this again, you know. But Snyder cut, like, I think it really showed his performance too, just like the Cyborg, like he was.
And Jeremy Irons is a great actor. Like, you cut actors like Defoe, Irons, all these dudes. It's like, come on, man, like.
Yeah, you got these guys who are like at death's door. You gotta give them the respect. You don't disrespect Scar.
Yeah, no.
You never disrespect Scar. Scar knows how to be a butler.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah, but and also too, like, and also speaking of like people adding, obviously they added Lex Luthor. Like he wasn't like in the theatrical version, he was a post-credit scene, but they actually resurrected him in the actual movie along with Deathstroke. Too. And Deathstroke was one of the ones I was looking forward to.
But that scene was in the post credits for the last one.
Yeah.
It just made more sense.
They had him, I think, earlier in the movie too.
It just made more sense that they extended.
Yeah, you know.
Because everybody loves Deathstroke, but I'm like, don't give him a stupid reason to show up. Give him like something logical.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, we definitely need a sequel though. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, and I know the actor that plays Deathstroke, Joe Manganiello, I think that's just pronounced. Like, I know he'd been frustrated because he was said he was contemplating leaving the role, and he do look like he was built for it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like it'd be a travesty he don't complete that shit.
My question is this, because I know all three of you all saw this. How did you feel about the random ass appearance by the Manhunter?
Oh man, I thought it was dope though.
Yeah, but it came out on, like, they could have put him in later, earlier, or like
that's
they
what
could
he
put
kind
earlier.
of does. Like, I like how they kind of introduced him on some low key shit.
Low-key,
Same thing with the Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
I don't know,
was low-key.
the way Batman looked at him was hilarious. He looked at him like,
What the fuck is this?
yeah, I know. He looked at us like, yo, I just had a rough night. I'm just trying to get my food. Are you the delivery person? Why are you here? Like, Batman's knowing about, like, he kind of composed, but he's just there in his pajama pants and everything else, like, barefoot. He's looking at you like, yo, you my food delivery person?
Yeah.
Low key, I feel like he make a good Batman. Like, he underrated. Like,
Yeah, he do.
his
He is a
whole,
good Batman.
what's your powers? I'm rich. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a special power,
Word.
but okay.
You know, yeah, and that's because,
It's a combination of I'm rich and I know too much about people.
I like the flat, like the interactions. Like, I don't know, like the movie was dope. Like, I really don't have any complaints, and I sat and watched the whole thing straight.
I have one real complaint about it. I hated the aspect ratio. Like, come on, like, bruh, like, I'm sorry, I'm a stickler, and that shit should have been widescreen. I'm sorry, like, I was like, yo, this is like, I couldn't stand the ratio. I felt like I was watching SDTV all over again at times. I couldn't fucking deal.
But I didn't mind it. I thought it was dope.
And
There's only-
between that and also Joker's appearance in there, like Joker,
that weird ass scene.
yeah,
It's
well,
random, man. That was random. That was kind of out.
Yeah, that's
Right.
about the only thing to me that
Right.
I was like, yo, this was like so unnecessary.
It's like, Batman, if you kill me, who's gonna touch your dick after this? I'm like, what the fuck? What is this?
yeah, and I think Jared Leto. See, it's
They
like
needed to make an action scene or something to make that scene worthwhile. Like, it was just, that convo just went nowhere for me.
I
Yeah.
personally also think for Jared Leto, they just gave him trash for lines and stuff like that. They just gave him trash for his script.
And the funny thing is too, is like, dude actually, like, he tried to embody that character. Like, dude
Exactly.
was
He
like,
went
I
all
remember,
out.
like in the theatrical version, like in Suicide Squad 2, like, dude, he was trying to cross over. Like, dude was in character all the time. He was in a fucking Rick Ross video, and that song was dope too, by the way.
Oh.
You know, everything like that. So I'm just like, yo, he really tried though, but I don't. He never crossed over as Joker. Like, I mean, even when we talk about the Joker, I still have Heath Ledger on the brain. Like him, like
It's because the scenes that he was involved in, you don't think Joker when you see him.
It's like they
You just
handcuff
need
him,
some
right?
maniac.
They handcuff him.
Sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry, what you say?
You know what I'm saying? Kind of like they handcuff him because Jared Leto's a great actor. You know what I mean? I've seen him in
He
great
is.
work. But it seems like they're just playing it safe with Joker, Heath Ledger. I don't know. Seems like
Yeah,
they're
but I
not
mean,
really-
like, even if you're trying to play safe, but Joker's biggest thing is being random and weird. Why would you?
and violent?
Yeah,
It's like another-
Random, weird, and violent. Because you could see it, like, in Suicide Squad, they would do weird, like, setups before he got violent. I'm like,
Yeah, dude
why
was a
not
little.
just go violent right away? That's
I mean,
Joker.
yeah. Dude was like a funny style Joker. Like he wasn't like dude would be, slithering all over the fucking place. He was that type of Joker. You know what I mean?
If I believe correctly, if I was trying to tap into the nerdy comic book thing, he's Bronze Age Joker, which is the more comic book one.
Oh yeah, Bronze Age. There's so many fucking Jokers. There's probably versions. I was.
You know what's funny about it? There was so many Jokers, they actually made it a plot recently.
Damn.
That there were 3 of them.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll see that in some animated movie in the near future. I don't think.
You know what's the funny part? Because of the 3 Joker thing, that means the live action can fix all their fuckers. Be like, it was actually one Joker all along. It was Agatha all along.
Now, see, Peter, you're giving away game now. You know, someone could buy here and it's like, oh, we can do that. We can.
Interesting.
You know what? The oldest thing in the
podcast
world.
you said this was?
We wrote ourselves into a corner. How do we do it? Multiverse, or there was an actual villain all along?
Yeah, that's one thing they did that they explained.
Something
the
that
time travel shit.
predated all of Ring Gang, even our own ages.
The whole time travel shit with Flash, done way better. Like,
Hell yeah, that's it. Yeah,
DC be making his movies like that shit. Like, it was easy to understand. Mother box here, mother box there, boom, boom, boom. None of this damn, well, we gotta go back in time, grab this nigga turned old, this person here, there.
Right, yeah, no, made perfect sense. Everything worked, and I was just like,
No Looper type shit.
I think what also helped out with the thing is like DC at the time, they weren't really big about time travel. They would be like things were happening concurrent in different universes, so you had to pick and choose where you went.
But then when you got a character who could, you know, alter time with his speed, you know, and kind of make shit easy, and just like you said with the Joker script, if the material, you know, maximizes the character's abilities, like.
Yeah, there's only one character I know that they use that a lot, and they barely use him. They always make him an idiot. The only time he ever shows up is because he fucked up.
Who?
He's called. Let me look him up real quick.
But just as you're doing that, like the one thing I really appreciated too was like all the Whedon jokes were all fucking gone. Like, you know, like they took it as like, you know, like I said, I mean, MCU they have their jokes and that's fine or whatever, but DCU like. You know,
sorry.
Yes, DCU is like you. I mean, it's good to have at least one movie, you know, where it's like, you know, there's some serious dialogue being bandied about. You know what I mean?
No cheesy dialogue. Like, the only time it was like it had it, but it had its own little charm, is with the Flash. Like,
the Flash was a couple of comedic relief character to some degree, right?
Yeah. All right, I got the DC characters. The most common one is actually Booster Gold. He only shows up because he fucked something up.
See, that sounds like one of them. Booster Gold, I know who he is, but that sounds like one of them D level.
Yeah, he literally only shows up in like certain points of like a major time event. Be like, oh, I fucked up. The only current character who's done something major, and that's only recent, is Dr. Manhattan.
Booster Gold. I'm pretty sure he's in one of them damn Batman anime movies. Now that
he was.
They
name familiar. I know who he is.
Yeah,
they hinted. Because DC got the rights to use the Watchmen, and because of how powerful Dr. Manhattan is, they'd be like, well, he affected all the fuck-ups we did.
Man, see, but you didn't even have to do all that extra shit. Like,
no, it was too late. They made a comic that should have lasted a year, then it lasted 2 years, then 2.5 years.
So that means they was doing too much.
They just didn't know what they were doing. That's why when they were writing, because they pissed off so many people.
Oh man, but yeah, with the Snyder Cut though,
keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. But with Snyder Cut though, like I said, it was 4 hours. Though I'm not gonna lie to you. I was complaining to LB, is like, man, like after 2 hours, I had to get up, I had to go brew some tea a little bit, walk around a little bit, and then come back to finish the shit. You know, because I was determined. I was like, you know what, I gotta do that.
Man.
I know. I was just gonna be like, this dude had to make tea and go for a walk. I'm like, are you my uncle?
What the fuck?
Well, not walk outside. I mean, walk around my place, nigga. I was like,
don't matter. You just still went for a walk.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I had to. I don't know about you. I mean, Pilot, how was your movie watching experience?
It was good. I mean, I watched about 2.5 hours of it. Was caught up doing some other stuff, and then ended up finishing it up. And I mean, that second half, you know, from the 2.5 hours to the end, I mean, I was drawn in. I mean, yeah, I think that was right. That was during that fight scene, maybe it was. I don't remember, but I just remember. Yeah, I mean, I watched it pretty much in 2 sittings.
How did you feel about like Cyborg's bit?
Repeat that for me.
How was Cyborg's bit for you?
Cyborg?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like I wish there was a flick. I wish like we got a solo flick from him. You know, I mean, I do appreciate the you know, I'll say segments or the scenes with him. You know, the prolonged scenes. You know, the football story, his family situation. I mean, I kind of wish it was a movie, but I do appreciate them at least filling in the backstory.
Yeah, with the guy that played Cyborg, Ray Fisher, like I mean, he's walked away from the role, but he said he would only come back to the role if Zack Snyder, you know, does, you know, basically they actually do the Snyderverse, meaning, you know, the DC movies follow his vision, and then he'll go back to the role. But other than that, you know,
there was an issue he had with the original director, right? Weldon.
Yeah, with the director and the executive.
He was actually the replacement.
Oh, wasn't he? Aren't they rebuilding DCU, or am I mistaken? I mean, is that confirmed that they're going to be like starting from scratch, I guess, or rebuilding?
They're
it
just
completely?
making noise.
No.
We hear something confirmed. They're making noise.
Yeah, right. They're just
the DCU right now, like they kind of killed the terms of, you know, trying to link the movies because like MCU, but they are making movies. I mean, there's plenty of MCU movies in the future that are supposed to be coming out.
DC has made universes that have currently hit the ground, really burning into the ground. They're trying to figure out how to fix that.
Honestly, they just need to just act like nothing else exists and just build off from where this shit just ended. Because that's what everybody's interested in.
They just act like people in a toxic relationship. Like, I don't acknowledge that it happened. Just keep moving forward.
Act like the Wonder Woman movie didn't exist. You could act like you could Shazam is still cool. You could act like that exists. Aquaman is cool. The first Wonder Woman movie is cool. Man of Steel, even Batman versus Superman. Act like all that exists. But
That's the biggest thing that kind of confuses me for DC. DC was the first people to do the multiverse shit. So I'm just like, pick and choose what you want and go from there.
I just think they tried to keep up with Marvel. You know, I feel like they rushed that. Like, come on. I mean, I thought about it. Like, the original Justice League 2017 should have been now, but it seems like they just tried to keep up with Marvel.
They were.
That's honestly what it was.
Yeah, so in this particular case, because I have all the info on that, like right now there's 5 future films that DC's gonna put out. Like the one that's coming out in a couple months, Suicide Squad, the sequel. You know, that's the one that's on HBO Max too. That's gonna be released, I think, in May or June or something like that.
I'll fuck with that. But the thing is, I thought that movie was just as good as the first Justice League. Like something that's like above average, but could have been a lot better.
Well, hopefully they do it better.
yeah, exactly.
And then after that one is the Flash standalone movie in 2022, followed by Aquaman 2, and then Shazam: Fury of the Gods in 2023, and then finally Black Adam. You know, that's the Rock movie.
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of confused me. A couple things with like how the order they're going with it, because it's just like this movie. I'm like, how's the timeline even working?
Because the movies are so far apart. Dude, you gotta remember, like DC is moving more like a Death Row Records, whereas Marvel is on some No Limit shit. Like
fair enough.
They having a movie every weekend. Like now they'll give you some bangers, some classics, but you're gonna get a lot of mid and above average shit.
Yeah.
Whereas but it's so much that's put out, you just group it all together. Like they doing good, this that. Where DC is like, you get 1 movie, 2 movies a year, maybe 1 album, this album here, and one of them might be classic, another one might be mid or be trash. And so it's like, you remember both those movies around the same time, and you'll be like, damn, that one was good. Then you're like, yeah, but that one was garbage. Because remember, when Wonder Woman came out, Wonder Woman was dope, but then what came out after was Justice League, mid.
Yeah.
Then I think Aquaman came out after that, and that was dope.
And then, and probably one more thing to add in terms of the future for Cyborg and Justice League. Now, Justice League originally was supposed to get a part 2. So, like I said, it is possible that part 2 can come about, and then Cyborg might actually come back to the one. And then also with the same thing with the Cyborg, there was supposed to be a Cyborg standalone, but like I say, I mean the WB execs, kind of, that's why it made Ray Fisher walk out from that role, but. That can also happen only if he comes back, because DC is not going to recast that role.
The buzz from this, they'd be stupid not to go back to it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, so like I know what the biggest thing is, like just have all those movies on HBO Max, which HBO Max would like skyrocket if they actually had.
They would kill it.
Absolute killing, that would be.
I think people would love to see these in the theaters, but with everything going on, just putting them just to HBO Max.
I'd rather not make my theater run be my last theater run. So I'd rather watch it at home.
Yeah, me too. Like I'm like, shit. I can't remember what was the last movie I seen in a theater. Was it Joker or something else?
I mean, it was Tenet for me. I actually watched that in the theater.
Well, actually, it's funny that you mentioned about that Joker movie, because that infamous line that people have been running around called, like, we live in a society. So it was put into the trailer for the Snyder film, and Snyder was just like, yeah, we're not putting this. It was actually thought about. It was just like, no, we're not doing this. He actually told the guy playing Joker, like, you are not putting that line, and that's final.
Like, you ain't need it.
Oh man! So now it's time for to give this movie a rating. Pilot. So out of 10, 1 through 10, what do you give this?
No, hold on, and wait, and he been fucking with us a minute, so he knows there's no half scores. No, you gotta be so you can't say 1.5 or
no half, right? No half, right? Okay.
Yeah, no half. I
was thinking 8, but I'm gonna give it a 9. I thought honestly it was bad. I hate to always bring it back to comparing Marvel and Avengers, but I feel like other than Infinity Wars, I mean, it's on par with it's much better than Age of Ultron, and
Shit, anything's better than Age of Ultron.
and I mean, Endgame was cool and all, but yeah, I prefer this over even Endgame. So I mean, I like this movie a lot, so I'll give it a 9.
All right, 9 indeed. That's a good score. PJ.
I give it a 7, but that's only just because it took 4 hours to make it get to this point. Otherwise, it would be an 8. But otherwise, like, it took care of like all the things that made the previous one really, really bad, and we got to find out like certain major things that would have helped the plot, would have helped out a lot for Cyborg especially, instead of him just being a cardboard cutout the entire movie. It did a lot. It was just the fact it took 4 hours. There were certain scenes in there that you knew you could have shaved off. Like, it would have still taken over an hour and a half to 2 hours, but man, the 4 hours was painful. Oh, fuck you.
That's enough for Whedon over here.
Oh, I actually hate on Whedon a lot. So
Yeah, no, I think Whedon now is like one of the probably the biggest jokes now. He's like, he's putting a lot of work though, but I don't think that no one will hire him to do comic book movies like that anymore.
Actively sabotaging his potential rivals' work. Nobody should hire him.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's a, and I'm glad that he's gone through his troubles right now. Fuck him, really. So LB, man, what about you? What's your score, bro?
It's just a 10.
Straight up and down, it's a 10.
Yeah, I mean, it did everything it was supposed to do. It was epic. You could watch it 2 different ways. You could sit through it the whole way like I did. Took up my whole fucking day. I had to plan around that motherfucker.
Word.
So, and I was one of these dudes who was like, yeah, I could watch a long movie. I remember the text convo I had with Pat. I'm like, yeah, I fucked with the Lord of the Rings movies. Yeah, you said it's long. I fucked with them movies.
Yeah.
Nah, it's longer than that.
Hell yeah.
I fucked with that thing, and he's like, nah, it's 4 hours. I'm like, the fuck? Like, ain't too much shit that's just in 4 hours, but fuck it, and I fucked with it like that because I wanted to experience the whole vibe at one time, like see it on some like masterpiece, uninterrupted shit. It gave me a fucking headache afterwards, but it was a dope headache. Like that shit was just crazy. Like, it's easily one of the best comic book movies of all time. Top 10 easily. It's funny. The shit that Pilot said, I had said that to my friend because he asked me about the movie, and the exact same shit I said was it's definitely better than all the other Avengers movies, and the only Avengers movie or comic book movie I could legit say is better than it is damn Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
And he was like, you get the fuck out of here. I'm like, nah, it was good. Like, the fuck. But I know he's a Marvel fan, but it's like I'm a comic book fan, so I try to look at the strengths and weaknesses of both. And this shit was just a masterpiece, like everything. Like the only one part I didn't really fuck with in the movie, and I thought could have been trimmed off, was the Joker scene. That was it.
Yeah.
Other than that, like the action, the finishes, the characters, the dialogue, Darkseid's part, like the whole, like his presence, like his introduction in the movie, and Apocalypse, just like, man, like that shit was just on point. Even to just prepare the Armada, like, we're about to take these niggas over, like part 2.
Yeah, so yeah, and that's I give it a 10 too, like because like obviously in the 4 movie you actually want the movie to to come to some sort of conclusion, some sort of satisfactory ending, and after all they did, it actually did that. Like I wasn't mad at it or nothing like that. And then also, and the only thing that I hated that it made me do was it made me wish that the other DC movies were like 4 hours. Like or at least, or they actually can, expand on it some more. Like, because it definitely had some cliffhangers though. And that thing was cool, but it definitely had some cliffhangers here and there, especially with the whole dark side shit, near the end.
Yeah, but it's a good cliffhanger because like I said, you could pick off for the sequel. It doesn't feel like, and shout out to King P with the because the comparison I'm gonna make is the Batman with the Return of that Legend of the Dragon.
Yep.
You see how that ended, and you're like, damn, this a whole new movie needs to start.
Yeah.
At least with the way this ended was like, okay, I could see a sequel. Because you don't feel like a whole movie. Niggas is like saying basically, all right, we about to tool up. Yeah, I mean, all right, that's it. And, that's it. Like,
yeah,
that shit ain't gonna happen in like 15 minutes. Like, yeah, a motherfucker is getting a whole planet together for war. Like,
yeah,
that's gonna take some time. So,
Yeah, so I mean, definitely, it's a huge masterpiece, and it's like, Zack Snyder deserves all his props for this. Like, this is his vision or whatever, and hopefully, maybe something like this will maybe shake up something with the D. I know right now because the DC films, right? I know 2 of them are like done and whatever. So, but I mean, so you just hope that maybe Snyder will actually be hired on as an assistant for them or whatever. But because
give him the controls, man.
Because Warner Brother has to know that they have a property that could really, they can turn it around, and this is what people. Like I said, the fans demanded the Snyder cut. Like, this is the reason, and then HBO Max was like, and the funny thing is, Warner Bros. Didn't really want to do it, but HBO Max made them do it. Made it like, we'll give you $70 million. We'll do that. We want this, and it paid off. It's paid off in spades. So, and it's like it is by far, like it is one of the, it's one of the greatest comic book movies.
The people at the top, man, the executives is just they not in tune with creativity like that.
Nah.
And vision. So, if you get some guys that just gotta micromanage anything, or they're jealous of creativity and talent, and they gotta be all over it and fuck it up, you'll get the Justice League from 2017.
Absolutely.
But when you allow people to express their true vision, you get the Snyder cut in 2022.
Right.
I'm sorry, 2021.
2021.
No, 2022. They gonna have a sequel, nigga. Like Justice League Part 2, Apocalypse War.
Only on HBO Max.
Yeah.
To be fair,
it'll be on Cinemax Go. Like,
to be fair, there's been people on social media saying like, if they had the option, would they want a 4-hour version of certain movies they saw too? So like, people now getting their ideas about that.
Hey, I mean, if it leads to 4 hours where the story is even more fleshed out or more action scenes or whatever, I'm with it. But I don't want a Batman versus Superman type of shit where it's like 15 minutes of comic book shit and then the rest is just.
You mean when they started by saying like it's a long story?
Yeah, no. Yeah, like there's storytelling
in Batman versus Superman was all off. Too dialogue heavy, and the dialogue wasn't good enough to warrant it.
Right. Yeah, and that's pretty much my whole thing with that. It's like, it's a comic, yes, good dialogue should exist in all movies, but for comic book movies, you have to have comic book shit. It has to.
And Man of Steel knew how to pace everything right, where you got major fight scenes or decent enough fight scenes throughout the movie and action, and it progressed and the dialogue was meaningful.
Yeah, it's what started the whole thing about people making those kind of movies under them at the same time. Because they found a formula and they was just like, let's try and make it something a little bit different, and it just went downhill.
Yeah. Absolutely down here. So I think we probably touched upon the movie.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, we all definitely said, go watch it. 4 hours.
A 7, a 9, and 2 10s.
Yeah.
I can fucks with that.
Yeah, definitely go watch it.
I don't know about that 7 though, but
I told you it was long. That movie took too long.
Oh man, but see, I look at
Otherwise,
it like,
if I was to be fair, it would be an 8.
damn. So you weren't being fair with the 7 then. So your score is an 8 then.
If they took 30 minutes off, especially for what happened towards the end, which made no sense, then yes, I would give it an 8.
That part wasn't 30 minutes though.
It's the final sequence itself. They were just bits that are just not necessary.
Oh.
I just don't want to spoil it. What I do find funny about that portion, because it has no sense, is how confused Bruce Wayne looked.
Yeah, that's how everybody was watching that shit.
They were just like, "Yo, I just woke up from a rough night before. Who are you? You're not the delivery guy from Jack in the Box. Who the fuck are you?"
Like he had a rager at his house, and some guy came back to get his wallet or phone.
And the best part is, like, after it was done, the way he walked by, he was just like, "Who the fuck was that guy?" That's why I now really want Ben Affleck to still remain as Batman, because that was the funniest shit in the world.
Yo, he did have some like comedic expressions in that shit.
Without trying, that was what made it funny.
Yeah.
He just legit didn't know what was going on.
And they be giving his ass them jacked up Batman suits, like his Batman suit be having PEDs and shit.
Oh my god.
Batman suit look like that shit got bench press 500 pounds.
So this came from timelines that had no reason to be there.
Oh man, but so any final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts. PJ, do you have any final thoughts, bro?
Overall final thoughts is the cards were all really good. We already considered things about like whether it's a case of like, being too old, being too rusty. That's the kind of thing that'll be a discussion on topic, maybe an eye test episode later, but we shall see. Ring City currently right now is doing really good. I hope they keep doing that so it makes all the other promotions get on notice.
Yes, sir.
And in terms of the film, like I said, if you got the 4 hours to spend, or as like LB said, if you planned your day ahead for this movie, you are going to have a great time. But otherwise, we have covered virtually everything here. So I got nothing else to outside of saying, like, check out the Ring Gang stuff, ringgangradio.com, the articles, the videos, and all that other stuff, and things like that, IG, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely. Hey, Pilot, do you have any final thoughts, bro?
No, not really. I mean, yeah, again, the Better Be fight was good. Father Time's undefeated, so he needs to get back in there, sooner than later. Yeah, I'm just glad to be here, and follow Ring Game Radio, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everything else.
Yep.
See, he covered the parts I didn't want to bother saying. There you go.
Stupid.
Father Time is undefeated, but rustiness be having like plot armor with it though.
That's
like,
also facts.
Niggas be going like the
Contender.
10 rounds and shit.
Oh man. So since I see him, he's still on here. Now he's still on here. P, do you have any final thoughts, bro?
I mean, Ring Gang is the vibe. So you already know what it is. You know where to find us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, ringgangradio.com. Mess with us, please. If you sleeping, then y'all need to wake the hell up already. Wake your punk ass up.
Wake your goat mouth ass up. This is DJ Shutterworth from ringgangradio.com on the ones and two.
Well,
We got both in the banner in the building. We got Pilot Talk. We got the Fight Architect, and we got the Big Homie Pat Scorpio.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. LB, bro, share your final thoughts with us, bro.
I'm just, man, we just, just kicking it, the boys, the boxing bros.
Yes, sir.
And, just doing this boxing shit. Shout out to everybody that just keep listening and keep sharing and retweeting and liking, comment, fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do this out of love for the sport and just want to see shit get bigger and better, man. So, ringgangradio.com. What everybody else said, man. Got more shit on the way. Just stay tuned. Just drop that Roner artwork. Got some other shit in the works. I'll get that in due time. Pat Scorpio, prepare the Armada. We must initiate the takeover of boxing across the globe. Think we ready?
Yes, we are.
PJ got the trainees on deck.
Yeah, we real.
We got the now Pilot got the Armada. He got the jets coming in. King P got all the sandwiches ready. You can't take over on no empty stomach.
Facts.
So we got all the bagel sandwiches and your pastrami sandwiches, so we good.
Although beef for me, beef pastrami, ain't none of that pork though.
He's got touch with all the poppies and all the akis right there. I think.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
So final thoughts for me. I don't really have anything, nothing that the brothers already said, man. Just keep messing with us, man. We definitely got stuff coming soon down the pike, and we thank you again, for rocking with us on a live podcast and showing us love on YouTube, and like I said, tell your friends about us, and your friends can tell their friends, and we can all be friends, because like I said, we do this for y'all, and we we just want to make sure we just want to share our love of boxing and other non-related boxing topics to the world, So for myself, Pat Scorpion, the New England representative, for LB Shuttleworth, the God the GOAT artist, for King P, Bodega P, for PJ, the fight architect, and for Conscious Pilot, because he'd be elevating. This has been another wonderful episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. So until next time, peace.